Okay, one of two choices. Do you want to talk KD, Caitlyn Clark, or Shedeur Sanders? You pick it.
Well,
Three choices.
Caitlyn Clark, and then if we have time, KD. Caitlyn Clark is this, Colin. You got a question? Or
go? No, go ahead.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
So here's the question I have. Because you and I keep kind of upping the ante on where we think her star is going, and I've decided that it can't be upped high enough. So here's the question I have, as crazy as this sounds. Once Steph and LeBron retire, will there be an active American athlete that's not a quarterback that's more famous than her?
No. No, there won't.
I think she will be more famous than every baseball player she might already be. In this country, every hockey player, all of the U.S. men's national team, and every football player that isn't really Patrick Mahomes and maybe Lamar, Josh, like there's only a few. And I think she's already more famous than every NBA player but KD, Steph, and LeBron. And I don't see any of those guys catching her. I think she is a supernova of fame and talent.
Yeah, it said this, and it's not anti-Beyonce to say that Taylor Swift's tour changed the economy. It is not anti-Angel Reese of the WNBA to acknowledge she's the Tiger 20 years ago on the tour. Like, the ratings disappear. It's nothing against the WNBA. She literally is changing the entire league economy. And I don't think that's a knock on the league.
But listen, I've got to protect us both here. It might be accidentally anti-Beyonce to compare her to Angel Reese, however. If Beyonce might not be Taylor Swift, but she's not. I mean, let's be careful with that. But I understand. You don't have to listen. So you don't have to blow out one's candle and make the other one.
That's right.
Grow brighter. But we are swimming in different pools when we're talking about Angel, who, by the way, shout out Angel, who got a triple-double and played really well the other night. And if she can at any point, just be a more competent around the rim, she will be a multi-time, multi-year all-star because she's a good defender and good rebounder. There's that, and Caitlyn Clark, fresh off an injury, playing a team that some people were like, are they going to go undefeated? And dropping 32, 8, and 9 in a 40-minute basketball game and blowing them out. Like, the Fever could win the championship this year. They're not the favorites. Minnesota's better and the Fever are better, but they just crushed the Fever. I'm sorry, crushed the Liberty. I said it wrong. And Minnesota and New York are better than them, but they're right there, and she is only getting better. It's really spectacular to watch.
Yeah. Angel Reese actually a really good player, and that wasn't the comp with Beyonce, but what I'm saying is, as you said with candles, is the WNBA, I just don't want to be marginalized. Like, I'm not criticizing the WNBA. She is the moment. She's not part of it. She's the moment, and that's okay. And I can name...
The Tiger comp is the right comp, and it removes a lot of the... I think there is, understandably, a real protectionist nature amongst the WNBA because, for a long time, it had fought for survival. Obviously, because it's a women's league versus a men's league. There's also a lot of race and gender and sexuality stuff tied up in the WNBA and its fan base that I think is actually really productive for American sports. But it also creates an understandably almost protective fan base. Like, hold on a minute. And so because of that, there has been, understandable or not, a pushback to this supernova celebrity parachuting into the sport. And so, like, the WNBA demographics and who watches and who goes to the games are almost diametrically opposed to the PGA Tour 30 years ago. And then Tiger came in, and there was still a similar protectionism, but for very different reasons. But the reality is this person is going to change the face of your sport, the economics of your sport, and the accessibility of your sport to shows like this. And that ultimately helps everyone. And it really helps everyone if the players themselves don't read their mentions as much. Because I understand with popularity comes toxicity, and a lot of people that weren't previously invited to the party or maybe don't want to be at the party, they just want to crash it. But those people only live in your phone. They don't live in real life usually. And so ultimately, it's great for the league, and she had a hell of a return from an injury.
Yeah. Well, you all live in my phone, and I love it. Listen. Caitlyn Clark is already more popular than all. I mean, you know, she is more popular than all. Who would you rather talk about? Caitlyn Clark or Trevor Lawrence? Caitlyn Clark or Brock Purdy? Caitlyn Clark, you know, he says Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson wasn't even on the top 15 most popular players, according to the NFLPA. I mean, I was surprised to see it, but that's Lamar Jackson. Not even up there. That's interesting. Jalen Hurts is 3 now because he won the Super Bowl, understandably so. And Patrick Mahomes he's number 2. Saquon Barkley, number 1. And again, they have the energy of winning the Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles, massive franchise, massive fan base. But the reality is if I were to make a video right now on my sports channel, if I picked, you know, on my football channel, JWL Sports, if I picked any other athlete, if I picked Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, SGA, you know, people who are playing in the finals right now, SGA, Halliburton, doesn't matter, Mahomes, Josh Allen, it is not going to get anywhere near the amount of energy and engagement and passion. Because you can see the passion. I still make, I make plenty of videos on the football channel right now, even during the off season. And that is the reality, right? Off season versus regular season is different. If I talk about Patrick Mahomes in October, it's a lot different than when I talk about Patrick Mahomes in June, which is fair. That's understandably so. I have never seen this impact that on any that any other player has had that I see with Caitlyn Clark. It's insane. And again, the level of intensity and passion and excitement that I see with Caitlyn Clark. And you know what's really fascinating? Despite what these people want to try to pretend, the vast majority of comments are all positive and praising Caitlyn Clark. It's not bashing Angel Reese. It's all positive. If I make a Patrick Mahomes video, if I make a Josh Allen video, whatever it may be, it's very split. People are like, nah, he's trash. Nah, he's the best. Nah, he's trash. Nah, he's the best. Nah, he's trash. Nah, he's the best. It's not as good as so-and-so. And that's fun too. Like that's its own energy in its own world, which is fine. I'm all for that. But like Caitlyn Clark is truly one of one. She truly is one of one. I mean, it's an absolute avalanche. I mean, it is a phenomenon. I mean, like she's a Christopher Nolan masterpiece. I mean, it's just outrageous to me. It really is. The reality is that the popularity of the WNBA, of women's basketball as a whole, to me, once it truly reaches a level of popularity, the stability that it could reach, to me, is greater than that of golf. Because golf is still such a very specific sport. So is something like tennis. Like they keep using Taylor Swift and Beyonce as an example. So is music. You know, Taylor Swift can only make so many albums, go on so many tours. There's new artists coming up and, you know, all the time. She doesn't like elevate music now, right? People aren't now like, I'm into music now because of Taylor Swift and Beyonce. It's like, that doesn't really make sense. That's, you know, I like the song before Taylor Swift and I'll like songs after Taylor Swift. Like, that's obvious. But with Caitlyn Clark, like, again, this is what I always say. There was no WNBA before Caitlyn Clark. We can pretend all we want. I was getting more views on a random video about Jalen Hurts than the WNBA got fans in the stands. I mean, like, that's just it's just real. I made the joke before. I was like, I get more people in my backyard for a cookout than what they were getting in the WNBA. Like, that's just the reality. And I wish that wasn't the case. And, you know, as I get older and as I interact with more like young girls who are, you know, getting older, you know, who are, you know, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, playing sports and all of that, it's like, you know, I'd love to have this excel. I'd love to have this really be a platform for them. You know, it's awesome to see. And as much as, you know, like my niece or nephews or whatnot, you know, well, specifically my nieces now, you know, can watch men's sports and love it, can watch baseball, basketball, and all that. And I think that's great because you want them to watch both. But like, I think there is something that could be, you know, pretty cool seeing a Caitlyn Clark having this league. I think it can land a little differently for them. I think it's interesting. I do think you're you know, it's a little bit different because a guy will typically watch men's sports, and all the inspiration that you're going to get, all the motivation you're going to get is going to come from men's sports. It's going to be a little bit less, you know, I'm not going to look at an Asia Wilson and be like, she's inspiring me to be a better basketball player or something like that. It's like, that's not really going to happen. Like, I got a whole just massive database of men, of NFL athletes, of basketball players, you know, NBA, whatever it may be. But with girls, it is interesting because they really are in a unique situation now to kind of look at both ends of the spectrum. To be like, I'm a Steph Curry fan and a Caitlyn Clark fan, and I'm a this fan. Like, it's a little bit more open for them, because at the end of the day, right, the peak is a Steph Curry, a LeBron James, a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant. Like, some of these other girls in the past would not live up to that. So why would I be like, I'm inspired by Diana Taurasi, when it's like, I got someone so massively better on the other side of this. Like, I just don't. I can respect the talent, I can respect the skill, but it's like, it's not going to land. But Caitlyn Clark is transcending that. Like, that's the fascinating thing. I can look at Caitlyn Clark now. I watch a Caitlyn Clark game, and I'm kind of like, oh man, it's the same feeling that I got with Steph, where I was like, I went about my basketball career a little bit wrong. I went about it wrong. One of the things that haunts me to this day in my own basketball career was I did not prioritize assists enough. I did not see the value enough at the time. I needed a better coach to help me, because I had great vision, and great timing and a great touch. And it's just like, it was just all about rebounds and points. I was never really looking to help. I mean, I would get assists obviously, but it was just kind of, wasn't intentional. And I look at Caitlyn Clark, and like, that inspires me. Just like watching Steph, when I see Steph, making all those shots, I was like many people had the feeling like, man, I need to shoot more. I need to work on my three. Like, you realize like, oh man, the power of the shot is just next level. And with Caitlyn Clark, I'm like, I needed to work. I need to pass more, man. Look at the power of this. And when I think about some of the other players that I played with throughout my life, I'm like, oh man, I could have been feeding him the ball. I could have been getting like 10, 15 assists a game. Like, what was I thinking? Why did I not look for this more? And like, that's what Caitlyn Clark has done for me. That it's transcended that. I don't watch Serena Williams. I don't watch Simone Biles, and I'm all like, this is what I could have done in my career, in my athletic career. Like, it just doesn't speak to me like that. It just doesn't. Just, to be honest. But Caitlyn Clark does. And that is where a Taylor Swift example is actually pretty good, because she got so popular, so massive. And watching, my niece be just absolutely hypnotized by like a Taylor Swift, by all the music and stuff like that. You see the power of that. And like, that was inspiring. That was motivating. And that was kind of like, oh yeah, wow, that's pretty cool when you can really be larger than life and connect with people. So again, it starts to transcend that. And that's why I push back on this idea that the WNBA, it's normal that they're being protective. Protective of what? At the heart of it, this is a women's basketball league. And you have a mega superstar woman there. I mean, like, anything else is just extra, man. I mean, it just is. And it is frustrating that every clip, essentially, we have to bring up like all the other stuff. And it's exhausting. I mean, it's frustrating. On one side, I find it thought-provoking and interesting. On the other side, I'm like, who cares? Because when I see Caitlyn Clark go off 32, 8, and 9 in an insane game, I just see a basketball player. Like, I don't even see a woman at that point. I'm not even like, oh, well, she's pretty good for a woman. I'm just like, I see a beast out there. And I see excitement. Like, when I'm watching the game, I'm like, this is exciting. I watch the game right here, right in this seat, on this computer and my phone. And I'm taking all my notes, and I'm like, I'm part of something special right now. I'm watching and witnessing something historic, something legendary, and I feel it. And I'm really lucky. I'm really fortunate, and I got nothing but gratitude that I have, a platform where I can now make a video, and I'm essentially like, are you guys seeing this? Are you guys seeing this? And people respond, yeah, I'm seeing this. This is wild. And I'm like, oh, you guys see it too. Like this, we're all part of this collective phenomenon. Like that's the cool thing about something like this. When you're watching someone like Caitlyn Clark, you feel like you're part of it. You feel like you're part of this revolution. You feel like you're part of this movement. It is how you felt when Steph Curry entered the scene and was just lighting the league up. It is what you feel with Taylor Swift. And again, especially, if you have like, other women in your life or young girls in your life, like you could see it. Like it was just like, whoa, this is next level. When I see my niece, for the first time after a week, the first thing she says to me is, did Taylor Swift release a new song? And I'll be like, I don't know. Let me look, let me look online. It was like, Taylor Swift, you have a new Taylor Swift song for me? And it's like, I'll take a look. You could just see the hypnosis that goes down. And right now, like, what other golf's not doing that. Tennis is not doing that. Like, wasn't there the French Open or whatever open? Like, we're not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. Even watching OKC and Indiana, those have been exciting games, awesome games. I've loved the final so far. I don't feel like I'm part of a movement. I feel like I'm watching awesome games. And one of the games with Tyrese Halliburton, I was like, this is one of the best games I've ever seen. And I did feel that way. I was like, this is one of the best games I've ever watched. And this is one of the best performances by like a Tyrese Halliburton that I've ever seen in my life. I was like, this was amazing. It was historic. And it was literally, by definition, historic. But it wasn't a movement. It wasn't a phenomenon. Watching the Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs in one of the most intense, dominating fashions. Stopping the 3P. I mean, like, it just could not be more heightened. It was the most watched Super Bowl in NFL history. And Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs got absolutely, positively annihilated. And I've made, endless videos around it. It wasn't a phenomenon. It wasn't a movement. It was an exciting moment. It was a historic moment. But it wasn't a movement. Caitlyn Clark, like Colin says that she's the moment. She's the movement. She's the movement. And I really encourage you guys all to like really just reflect on it, to really think about what that means to you. Maybe it means nothing to you. Maybe it means a lot to you. But it feels like you're really collectively part of something. It's that feeling. It's like when you're watching a Caitlyn Clark game, you're watching the Indiana Fever. It's like we all collectively just like join this portal. We watch it, we experiencing it, and then we're all just like, oh my God, we just want to talk about it. And then we have conversations about it from all over the world. It's this collective experience. And that is all Caitlyn Clark. No athlete right now is doing that. LeBron James is not doing that. Steph Curry is not doing that. Patrick Mahomes is not doing that. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen's not doing that. Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, any of these other women, like they're not doing that. Caitlyn Clark is doing that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Caitlyn Clark? Just her absolute insane rise and being just the definition of a superstar. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing as we are building an amazing community here. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.